All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Wars in the Stars, episode number 58. Today, we have a Batman preview. We'll also touch a little bit on the question of the week, obviously. That's been killing it on TikTok. So
I
that's been,
know.
been really
I've
good.
I haven't seen it, bro. And I get how I get notifications like a video you were tagged in has gotten X amount of likes. I was like, okay, okay, go
And
question of the week.
go question of the week. It's been really fun to do because it's a good little break from talking about certain stuff. And we'll also touch on the Morbius trailer. I mean, it was at a weird time, I think. Um, I
Morbius.
mean, overall, I thought it was okay. It was fine. But Alex, how's your week been, my man? Since the last time we talked, a whole war started. So how you doing?
I know. World War III. I'm gonna fake my identity so I'm no longer 17. I'm actually now 13. So they can't draft me if this continues on later on to the year. Yeah, I have been fine. Working on the Mandalorian. I guess here's a little preview. I haven't even gone on TikTok to talk about these, but
Ooh,
yeah, I got some
they look
stuff.
good.
Yeah, thank you. I got some stuff done. Yeah, I had SATs today, which were not fun. Nobody at my school liked them. We had a lot
Nah.
of a lot of problems
Now
with
it's
them,
just
but
junior. I take it it was just juniors that took them, right?
yeah,
Because we used to also have to take the PSAT, and they stopped that, I think, this or last year. Did you take them last year?
took them this year.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Because you, as a junior, they want you to take the PSAT in the
Yeah,
fall. Yeah.
and then I did have to take one last year as well, the
Okay.
PSAT.
They stopped them at least in my state. But yeah, I've been busy in the last week with obviously my state's high school basketball tournament. After this Saturday, which are the state title games, I would have went to 17 games. 3 of those days were 4 games per day, so like 10-hour days. Pretty fun though. Pretty excited. I like that type of stuff. Long days, but obviously very fun. The state tournament in my state, it's very small state, so it's very close knit. Great community. Do you know anything about it in Ohio? Is it a big deal? Like basketball state tournaments, high
No,
school? I mean, you've had a. I mean, obviously, you know St. Vincent High School, right? I mean, you're not near Akron. St. Vincent. You know who went there?
no.
LeBron.
I was gonna say, for some
You...
reason, I don't know why he came to mind. I was gonna say Benedict Cumberbatch, but, I don't know.
yeah, I was just gonna say you had maybe one of the more famous human beings go to high school in your state, LeBron James. Now, granted, Akron a little bit of ways from you, but St. Vincent High School, pretty big high school. Yeah, I don't know how. I mean, is your school good at high school basketball? Do you know?
I think so. I
Do you
don't
ever walk by the players or anything, or do they have like their own area? Right? They got their own
know.
spot.
I walk by the players; they're loud and whatnot, so I just ignore them. Sorry, I don't care about sports at my school. I don't care about my school in general.
What?
Every time we have an assembly and whatnot, I skip it. So,
like uh, like a pep rally, you'll skip it.
mm,
Unreal, bro.
no, I just sit in the bathroom and go on TikTok for an hour. I think we have one in a month and a half. I'm planning on skipping it. My teacher does the same thing, and he's in we had we're gonna a part of our next one is wrestling and whatnot, and one of the wrestling coaches is planning on skipping it also.
Interesting. All
Yeah,
right. Well,
school
you could
sports, school sports.
tell Alex and I are very different people. But yeah, guys, let's first off, let's talk about what we're talking about in March. So in March, obviously today is going to be a Batman preview. I don't know when we're gonna be able to do our review because, like I said, Saturday I'm gone all day, so we'll see. It might be later in the day. I'm seeing it Friday night, and I
Uh,
didn't
I was supposed to see it Friday night, but then we had to move it to tomorrow or to Saturday. So
Saturday. I didn't realize this. I bought tickets at 7:20. I'm like, oh, I think it's a. I totally forgot the movie is 2 hours and 56 minutes long. And I'm like, oh, I'm not gonna get out of here until 10 o'clock. Very nice. But yeah, and then next week I think we're gonna combine Rebels season 3 and 4 and finish that up, and then the following week, Alex and I have kind of we literally talked about it 2 seconds ago for like a minute. We might watch like an episode of Daredevil on stream and just react to it and talk about it or something like that. Because I don't think we've really seen those Netflix, Disney Plus shows. So maybe we'll
Yeah.
do something like that. Then we'll end the month with a Moon Knight preview, which, by the way, shoo, the posters for that show, man, ooh,
So
they've been
good.
fantastic.
So
And
good.
then we'll round out the month with Moon Knight episode 1. And at some point this month, I assume there'll be a little Thor Love and Thunder trailer. We'll get some Love and Thunder,
Maybe.
maybe a little
Maybe.
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
No.
You don't think so? I
No. I
think we
think
get a trailer on May 25th.
no. I think we're gonna get a trailer an hour before it comes out.
You're right. Right. They
I
won't
think
market it all.
yeah. No. You know, obviously they're
Lucasfilm?
most.
Marketed? What?
I know. But you know what they will market? Some character packs on a mobile game for you to buy.
Really? 1 second. I gotta grab my phone real quick. Keep talking or something.
Oh yeah, Moon Knight, folks.
All right, I'm back.
That was fast. Jeez, I'm excited for Moon Knight. Like before we get into into his DC counterpart, so excited on so many levels for Moon Knight right now.
I am as well. By the way, if I look distracted, I'm promoting the stream, so
No,
I'm actually
he's actually just texting his friends. He's not interested in this conversation. He wants to
look.
go to his.
I'm attaching, as you can see, I'm attaching the stream here. So,
He just wants to go to his Take Five podcast and go talk
oh
about
my God, it's not even the
wrestling.
name of it, Alex. Wow.
I'm sorry, Take Six.
Okay, close enough. You actually got further away, but close enough.
Oh, whatever.
And Alex sent. I know we're way off topic here, but Alex sent me a video yesterday of him in his Spider-Man suit, and it was a mind fuck of a video because he said, "I'm Batman," and then and he's dressed as Spider-Man, and then in the Snapchat text he said, "I'm Superman." It was probably one of my favorite videos I've ever seen.
Look, I have both of my suits. Wait, oh, I dropped the boots on the ground.
I think
Look.
he would actually be better in a Batman suit, if I'm being honest.
Oh my God, don't even get me started. I wanted to buy the Dark Knight suit so bad, but then they're like hundreds of dollars. These were the Far From Home was 90 something dollars, and the PS4 was like 70 something.
Right.
Just not something over. Those suits are crazy. They're good, but they're expensive.
Yeah.
Who doesn't want to be Batman, bro?
Uh,
No, I already know. My next like character suit I'm gonna get is Wiccan's
really?
or Doctor Strange. One of the two.
You're not gonna wait until he's in live action?
Well, of course I'm gonna get his live action suit, but I want to get his comic suit first. I'm Batman! Yeah.
Yeah, I think you would kill it in a Pattinson suit, if I'm being honest.
Oh, I was looking at Bale.
I don't. To be fair,
they're both $300.
really,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Yeah, which is like so absurd, but like whatever.
Whatever. Yeah. All right. So, I guess Alex was, kind enough to do the questions for us as always. So,
Dude, and
I know I
went
look so distracted.
spicy with these questions.
You did. You did.
I don't know if you read them. I'm excited for us to get to no spoilers, but I'm excited for us to get to question 6. Question 7. Honestly, I'm excited to get to all of them. The only
They
one.
look really good, Alex. They look fantastic. You
Thank
did a great
you.
job with these.
Thank
So
you.
do you want to read the odds or the evens?
Both.
So what ones do I get to read then?
None. You'll answer first.
Okay, well that's fine.
All right, Drew. Big first question. What excites you the most about the Batman?
So this is going to be the first time I ever see a solo Batman film in theaters. I was too young for Dark Knight Rises came out in
Like,
11,
oh, yeah.
12. So I was only 8 or 9 at that point. It was already so late in the trilogy anyways that like why would you go watch it if you didn't know what happened before? So I'm excited to see a solo Batman film in theaters for the first time. And it's Batman. I'm really excited to see something a little bit different with the character. Obviously, we'll talk about it in later questions, but the Matt Reeves' story decisions are a little bit different with how he's going with this movie, obviously. And I'm really excited to see how Matt Reeves crafts this world. Obviously, there's going to be a Penguin project and I believe a Gotham police PD or something like that on HBO Max that they're going to do 2 shows. So I'm really excited to see how Matt Reeves crafts this world. It looks fantastic from the trailers. I think we've talked about that a lot on the show, and I'm just really excited to see this iteration of Batman. Obviously, a very iconic character that it's a lot easier to resonate with, right? Because he's not superhuman necessarily, right? So, and I'm excited to see Catwoman. I hope we finally get a good iteration of Catwoman. Anne Hathaway is and was it Halle Berry who played the other one in the Catwoman movie? Not fantastic. So we'll see. I hope we get a good iteration, a good relationship between those two characters. So those are some things just off the top of my head that really excite me for that film. How about you, Alex?
I'm also just excited for seeing a Batman movie in theaters. Again, too young to see the Dark Knight series and whatnot in theaters. I also just wasn't into superheroes at the time. I was in my big Star Wars crave, um, and I don't know. I'm just excited for a more self-contained story. Seeing as the next like big movie for comic book movies is Multiverse of Madness.
Skipping Morbius, man. Unreal.
Dude, big movies like
I know. I know.
movies that matter, and don't get delayed 30 times. Uh, so it's a big thing that we just come off of No Way Home. I think it's going to be a good breath of fresh air to not go from multiverse to another multiverse. It's going to have multiverse and then Batman.
Right. It's really interesting that the back to back comic book movies are Spider Man No Way Home and Batman, right? Probably two of the three at least most iconic comic book characters of all time besides Superman. So in two very stylistically and creative wise movies, right? One's a multiversal movie that's bringing a culmination of 20 years of films together into one new story that's expanding a wider cinematic universe, while the Batman is a self-contained story that's new and is separate from a pretty, can I say it, pretty shit cinematic universe on its own planet, own universe, and establishing a new world. So two totally different purposes for these movies. But I'm very excited to see where it goes. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that they can do after this movie that I think that's my most exciting thing is are we gonna see more stories like this with this Batman, more similar stories with other characters, more grounded, with other people, and that's gonna be brought up in a question later on, so I'm not gonna go too far into that. So I think the possibilities that this movie brings is what excites me the most. So.
for sure.
Yeah. All right, Drew. This Batman is unlike every other Batman story that we've seen, or most of them. This Batman skips the origin story, and at this point in the story, he's 2 years into being the Batman. Does this worry you that they are moving away from the status quo?
Um, I like it. I really don't need to see the origin every single time because every single time it's the same thing. Parents get killed. He becomes lonely, depressed. He wants to revenge them. He wants to, bring justice. And it's like, it's kind of boring. It's kind of repetitive. I'm really excited to see, because reportedly every single scene is told from Bruce's perspective. Like, there's not a scene that he's not in. So, I'm really curious to see like how they craft that, how they work that, but I am sure that Thomas and Martha Wayne will work their way into the story in a unique way, obviously for Bruce. And I think with the Riddler, um, he knows something about the Waynes that's gonna haunt Bruce's past or something like that. I don't necessarily think that we're gonna see him die again. I mean, we literally see him get killed in the Joker movie. Like, it's like, come on.
Mm,
So I don't think we necessarily see their death. I don't think we see Bruce's childhood, obviously. I think that's confirmed basically or essentially, but I am hopeful that they still work their way in a story, but it's in a different and unique way instead of the way we see it every single time, So,
yeah, I
especially with uh Zack Snyder's iteration because we see him fall in that stupid Batcave every single time he's in the DCEU.
yeah, I think Batman dies. Um, no, I'm also excited to not have to re-see the origin story. It was my one thing that I really loved about Tom Holland's Spider-Man is that we didn't get the same old shit about Uncle Ben dying. I didn't need that. I don't need to see that again. So I'm excited that we're moving away from the let's show why our character who is the way they are or why they are the way they are. Let's just
Right.
let's just get into it. Let's show you this is the shit he's done, and here we are.
And
Uh,
plus, I don't mean to cut you off, but plus it's already different than other Batman stories because Bale's Batman is about Bale becoming Batman for literally like 3 to 4 years, right? And that was Nolan's interpretation of the character that he only fought crime for a few years, right? Uh, this interpretation or Affleck's was he was Batman for a while, presumably in the DCEU because Robin was killed, so he's had Robin uh, in the DCEU. And um, this Batman is about him in year two, right? So presumably he's still trying to figure out his way as Batman. But I'm also really curious how do they handle the Bruce Wayne character because I think this conversation we'll have in the third question that we have. But some people have problems with the emo Bruce Wayne look, right? They call him emo. But it makes sense to me, right? He's a rich billionaire who's a kid, basically, essentially, at this point, a younger adult trying to find his way with fighting crime and with how does he deal with his family's legacy. So I'm really curious. Basically, a year two story is unique for a Batman. Every single Batman we've seen has essentially been Batman, presumably for some time. So this is a new and unique interpretation of it.
yeah, I'm excited to see like how Bruce's family is involved with him after they're dead. I want to see really like how they're brought into the story because we know that, or we almost certainly know that the Waynes, like you said, are going to be very hugely tied to this Batman, without their deaths being an essential part of the story. So I absolutely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
But Drew, you kind of alluded to this in the previous question, but Robert Pattinson, when announced as the new Batman, had a lot of criticism. Does this worry you? And how do you think? And are you excited to see him as Batman?
I was definitely skeptical. For sure. Especially as a guy, I've said it a lot here, who's a big Affleck guy, right? I think Affleck uh stylistically and just how he looked was the most comic accurate version of Batman. Now, I want to preface this. I don't give a shit really about comic accuracy, but like for a character like Batman, I think it is kind of important because it's so iconic, right?
Yeah.
And he just felt like Batman to me. Like that feels like Batman. I don't necessarily agree with all the decisions Zack Snyder made, but like felt like Batman. Pattinson's weird, right? Because obviously his acting career didn't start great, right? Twilight. That's how everybody knows him as the weird vampire.
Yeah.
But he's killed it as of late. He's been in some great movies. He was in what's it, Lighthouse with William Dafoe, where the iconic meme comes from of William Dafoe looking up in the sky, and it's they will make memes about how certain Marvel characters will do something to him. But yeah, so he's had a lot of very good performances as of late. But again, there's like, well, he was in Twilight, so it's like it's really interesting to see how he performs. Right, just his style and his manner in the trailers, I have really enjoyed. I've really appreciated. But it's like he looks a little unorthodox for a Bruce Wayne, but or a Batman, I should say. For Bruce, it makes sense, right? Um, so in my head, the way I rationalize the decision, it's well, it's a younger Bruce. He's new to the crime scene. He's trying to keep his family's legacy. So a different version, not as muscular, not as predictable as is a good choice, I think. And Pattinson's a fantastic actor, so I really don't have any worries. To me, Bale's not a great choice as Batman either. If you really, if I were to go in a time machine and he would have told me that Christian Bale was Batman, I would have said why. Uh, but he did fine in the role. I can't wait to see his interpretation of the character and from the trailers and from what people are saying he's some people's favorite Batman. So I'm really curious to see where he takes the character, especially in Bruce's younger years of life. So, what do you think, Alex?
Yeah, I agree. You know, I've made my jokes months before this movie came out about it's emo Batman and whatnot. But no, as the marketing has ramped up for this movie, my excitement for it also has ramped up. And so me personally, I'm excited to see what Pattinson brings to the table as Batman. Again, like you said, Bale, in my opinion, would never be a first choice for um, Batman either, but he killed it. So
Right.
I think I think my thing is right now. I'm excited to see where where they bring him, and I really, really, really am looking forward to seeing like where his Batman goes. I think, in my opinion, I've never been so excited just to see how someone performs until
Right.
this movie.
Right.
I've been excited for I've been excited for movies like Spider-Man: No Way Home, because I said it a lot while we were talking about it while it was coming up. Like, I really want, I wanted to be impressed by Tom at this point. He wasn't my favorite in the world, and he still isn't, Yuri Lowenthal. But as live action, he's my favorite now. But this is the first movie where I'm just like, I really want to know how he's gonna like act in the role. So,
Right. And
but
yeah, it's really interesting because I don't know if we had this conversation, but do you remember how people said that they wanted him to have the white eyes?
yeah,
And after seeing, there's a couple specific shots in the trailers where we see him going after the penguin and you see his eyes. I'm
mm,
like, no, I do not need the white eyes because his facial expressions add a lot. He doesn't talk a lot in the trailers, but from his facial expressions, his mannerisms,
yeah,
that scene where he's interrogating, I think, the Riddler, and he goes, "Where is he?" And he bangs on the glass, and his
mm,
eyes like get bigger.
yeah,
Yeah, that's I don't need the white eyes. The white eyes would be with somebody that I couldn't resonate with as Batman. He doesn't need that.
yeah.
He, I'm really excited again to see his interpretation. My thing is like with a character like this, right? There's a balance there, right? You have to um, respect its origins and respect its comic origins and how original creators intended it. And for example, when we talk about Star Wars, right? I consider myself a George Lucas purist. I would consider myself that. I very much love the original Star Wars.
Hmm.
I think that the new Star Wars should respect what Lucas did, but at the same time create their own and new unique stories while respecting the past. I feel the same way about Robert Pattinson's performance. Respect what's come before, but make it your own thing. Try to stay within what the boundaries of the character, but make it your own thing within those boundaries.
Yeah, honestly, could not have said it better. And you kind of segued in during your little thing about the suit. I totally did not just add this question 4 minutes ago. Um, what do you think about the bat suit of the movie?
So you're a pretty big costume guy. So this isn't my strong suit here. I enjoy it. I really like it. Now there are some like cowls that don't work for me, right? Like Keaton's cowl does not work for me at all. The like
Thank you, thank you,
the
thank you, thank you.
ears are just what like it doesn't look intimidating or frightening.
Who?
Uh,
The Keaton cowl. I thought you were about to say the Robert Pattinson one. Because honestly, dude,
I
my
don't mind
thing,
it.
my thing is, I think it is maybe just a peg below the Dark Knight suit, and I love the Dark Knight suit so much. It's my favorite bat suit, and I think
I
this one is
like
just below it.
Affleck's. It depends.
I don't
Affleck's
know. I don't like Ben Affleck's bat suit. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because he looks bulky in it, like it looks
right.
like artificial muscle.
I do love Pattinson's though. There is a lot going on with it.
It looks
I
like
love the bat logo, how they do it with like the gun that
yeah,
killed his parents, presumably. But like, I don't like. I think the ears could be a little like bigger, maybe, but not like Keaton big. Like Keaton big is just like I hate that. It's way too much going on there, and I don't like yellow on the suit. Like I like the all black or like
yeah,
black and gray. I don't like yellow.
yeah.
But I will say my favorite suit is still probably Bale's,
Love
but
it. How
that's what
could you
worked for
not?
Bale.
Yeah. I think my thing with this suit is um I don't know. I think one of my big things is I don't like the cape and how clean it looks. I think that's probably my biggest thing is I don't like how clean the suit looks. Because with the era that we're supposed to be described that this Batman, it's dark, it's gritty. This suit is very clean for a very dark person. I also to note it is the bulletproof suit, so it's got that going for it. But yeah, but this
Now
suit,
that I
like
look at it, it does look very like clean and like
it does. It looks very like not pristine. It looks new.
now there is a shot that we see in the trailer where it gets all
Yeah,
dirty and beaten up. So I assume it'll
yeah.
be beat up.
But like, I'm sorry, I have this thing of this picture pulled up of him in the rain, and it looks beautiful. It looks awesome. The it
Right.
you can see the metal parts like barely shining through. It just looks good. But I agree. I think the ears are just like I think they're just a tad too short. Maybe
Yeah,
like
I'm look
maybe like another like not even like a half an inch, like a quarter of an inch on top of it.
I know some people don't like Bale's suit, but I really like it for him. It's like it's almost to me, it's almost the most terrifying looking one. It's Bale's suit to me, it's like almost like if you saw a like a police dog and it was coming at you. I know that's a really weird analogy, but
Yeah.
he looks terrifying and like he looks frightened. And I think Pattinson's it's more like an aesthetic thing. Like it just looks
Yeah.
pretty. Like, when you see Bales, I feel, like, intimidated almost.
Yeah,
Uh,
and
it
I was gonna say, I think Pattinson's looks really cool to look at, but it doesn't look very like scary. Bale's looks like, oh shit, that's a
yeah, right.
Batman coming for me right now.
And if I saw Keynes, I would just laugh at you, like, if I'm being
Literally,
honest.
literally. Oh my gosh. Hold on, I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on. Oh no, hold on.
Yeah,
Share screen.
Pence like Christian Bale looks like an attack dog coming at you. Like that's
All right. Literally, just like look at the difference between the Bale suit and then the Keaton suit. That's embarrassing.
is that the Kinsu?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, look at how just like. Also, you're gonna notice with the Keaton suit, like, look at the cowl. It
Yeah.
looks so bad. It's rubber. It's like rubberized on.
I'm looking at Clooney's now. Isn't Clooney's pretty goofy too? Oh,
Yes. Like I
yeah,
like
it's goofy.
also another thing like right here is like I think the other reason why I don't like Ben Affleck's suit is I don't like his bat logo. Look how like big it is. It's like up like his entire upper chest is a bat logo.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like it looks good like I don't know. Every time I look at cowls
I
like
don't
Batman
like
cowls, I
I
always laugh.
don't like the yellow logo. I never have. It just looks like
It looks cartoony.
yes, yes, yes. That's how I feel. That's how I feel
Gold.
about it.
Henry Cavill as Batman? Look how that could look.
Don't show that DC. Don't give
No.
DC idea. Well, they're not gonna take the opportunity.
No, he's fired. Sorry. LOL.
Uh,
Take the
well, who
L.
knows? After peace, I mean, they kind of
It's not him. It's a stupid stunt man.
right, but
Trouble.
but it's supposed to allude that it's him.
It's a very bad illusion.
No, I think no, it definitely feels like Cavill. By the way, somebody asked Jason Momoa at the Batman premiere what type of fish was it.
Oh my gosh. A gold
I
one.
love that scene so much. It's like Barry's like, it's not a rumor. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you, Barry.
Fuck you, Barry.
And I love how Peacemaker's like, he's like, oh, you fucking assholes decide to show up now. It's just,
Yeah. You're late, dickheads.
yeah,
Don't fuck another fish.
yeah.
I'm so
It's
fucking tired of that rumor. It's not a rumor. Fuck you, Barry.
That's like it's so funny though, because like DC's now going full on with the meme that Ezra Miller's character is just basically cameos.
Literally, dude. He's got an appearance in Arrow. He's got an appearance in Peacemaker. He's got an I think in
The Flash. Oh, you said the Arrow. You mean the Flash?
no, it was his cameo was in Arrow, not
Oh,
Flash.
yeah,
But it was with the Flash.
yeah. That's right. Yeah.
I don't know why they didn't put it in the Flash
It was
part of
Crisis, right? It was Crisis.
Crisis on Infinite
Yeah.
Earths. Which also I like how we had that where it's like all of the Earths have combined into one universe. And then the DCEU said, fuck no. And then this universe said, fuck no.
Right. Yeah.
So all right, Drew. Would you want this Batman to be a part of a bigger picture? So the Justice League or a Bat family, potentially. So Damian, Dick, Jason, etc.
I would want this to be the start of a Bat family with at least one of the Robins, right? Because what Robin? We haven't seen a Robin in a really long time. Bale didn't have one, right?
No.
No. Yeah, I'm fine with. I wouldn't mind a couple of Robins if I'm being honest with you.
Red Hood.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that if you're going to build off of the universe for sure. I would want something like that. Don't want him to be part of the Justice League. If I am Matt Reeves, I do everything possible in my power to make sure that Warner Bros. Does not put him in the DCEU. Right?
Literally.
So the DCEU right now, it's obviously in the Flash movie. Keaton's going to become because the Earths are going to merge or something like that, and Keaton's the new Batman in the DCEU.
Mm-hmm.
And then a month later in the HBO's Batgirl, Keaton's going to pass that to Batgirl.
Yep.
So she's going to be the Batman or the Bat person of the DCEU. First off, that's fucking insane. You don't give the audience enough time to even grasp that Keaton's the new Batman in this universe. It's a month apart. So that's insane. But Batgirl, really interesting choice there. I don't know. Weird. Especially if you only bring Keaton back for 2 projects and they're like, yeah, you were just a placehold.
Yeah.
But that's weird. Uh, but Pattinson should stay in his own universe. Should stay on Earth too. Build up that universe and do stuff in that Arkham. They already are. They're making a Penguin show. They're making a show about the Gotham PD. I'm sure other projects can stem from it. If the Riddler survives, you could do something with him. Uh, you you could do something with other Batman villains, his Rogues Gallery. You could do a different Titans show, just with the higher budget and better done. And you could do a bunch of stuff after Bruce has or Pattinson has his 3 movies, or you could keep going after his 3 movies. So like this build up, uh, have this be your Batverse, right? Use this as your Batman universe and just keep him away. And if you ever want to do it later down the line when you have your shit together, yes, then do it. But if I am Matt Reeves, I do everything in my power for at least the trilogy, because I presume they'll get at least a trilogy, that he does not touch whatever the DCEU Earth One. He doesn't touch that. He doesn't come in contact with those characters until these 3 movies. Like these 3 movies, they could treat it like how Marvel treated Tom. Like it's kind of his origin story. Like all 3 are his origin story for
Hmm.
Pattinson's Batman, and then he's like, oh, he's ready now to go out into the multiverse or whatever, or something like that. So that's how I would do it.
Yeah, I'm also in the camp. I just do not want this guy to be a part of any Justice League. I don't want Superman. I don't fuck Superman. How about how about that? Um, that's just kind of where I'm at. Is like I
I
don't want
agree.
I don't want this guy to be with Superman or Wonder Woman. I'd be okay with Robin, Damian,
Oh yeah,
like any of them. I'd be fine with that.
Nightwing.
Yeah, but like I don't want Batman to be with Superman or any of them. Keep him away from them. I think maybe you can build towards that, like after a third movie potentially.
Right.
Like
But that's
mention,
5 or 6 years down the line, not
yeah, even then.
soon.
And we don't need a thing where oh here comes Superman. It could be a thing of like oh the guys in Metropolis are yada yada. Like I don't need to see Superman. I could get a reference to Superman
That'd be cool. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
or like a reference to Aquaman or a reference to the Flash, like stuff like that. But I think the big thing that I would want to see if I had to see anybody else be brought into like this little Reeves universe, bring in people who we have not seen like majorly in live action on
Green
the big
Arrow.
screen. Where is the Green Arrow? He's like an essential part of the Justice League. Where is the Black Canary? I know we saw her in Birds of Prey, but where's the actual Black Canary? Like I don't know who that bitch was in Black Canary and Birds of Prey.
Do we have a Poison Ivy?
I don't even think we have Poison Ivy yet. So it's just like that's my thing is like if you're going to have all these people, give us more grounded people. I don't want aliens. I don't want gods.
Yeah, I don't want General Zod coming freaking
No,
down. I don't want to see that. No. No.
like no. Uh, again, I want Oliver Queen. I want like all these other people.
Deathstroke. I mean, he had the
Deathstroke,
opportunity in the
Justice League.
DCEU,
Yeah,
but like,
well, give us like Ra's al Ghul. Give us people
yeah,
like that. Give us grounded characters in this verse.
if he could do it right, Mr. Freeze,
Exactly. Exactly.
Hugo Freeze,
Yeah. So,
played by Giancarlo Esposito, that would be my fan cast.
okay. So yeah, I think we're both in agreement. No Justice League shit. At
Nah.
least not until like after a third movie. And it have
Warner
to be
Bros. Warner Bros. You hear me? Do not touch this. Do not.
I think the
Oh,
most the
they're
most that
telling
we're
me right now that they're probably gonna have a multiverse thing after his first movie. Yeah, you're. I'm not surprised he would do that, but
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then again, I think we're just both in agreement. We want either more grounded heroes to be with him, like Green Arrow, Black Canary, and people like them, or we want the Bat Family. I think I
right.
would more. I think I'd more or less root for the Bat Family than more grounded.
Absolutely, at 100%. Because we really haven't gotten it in a while. Or
No,
really a good
I
one
don't.
ever besides
Mm,
video games. So yeah.
yeah. Drew, there are no post-credit scenes in this movie. Does this worry you to the potential of no sequel? Or and if there is no sequel, would you prefer one offshoot one movie stories? So would you
In the
want
in this universe specifically,
no just separate universes? Would you want another offshoot Green Arrow movie, offshoot Deathstroke movie, offshoot Nightwing movie?
if they were to do something like that, I'd want it to be in Reeves's universe, and I'd kind of want it to be like what Star Wars is doing with the Filoni verse, where it's kept in that universe, and Reeves at least has some knowledge of it, maybe not working on all of it. Um, so I'd want them to do that with the Rogues Gallery, basically a Batman and his Bat family. But no, I'm not worried about this. Not, I mean, Matt Reeves at I believe it was the Paris premiere said, "Yeah, we'll probably do a sequel." I don't know what he said. I don't know what it's going to be about yet. I think he has an idea though, probably. Obviously, spoilers if you don't want anything. Barry Keoghan, right, the one who plays Druig in the Eternals, is credited as an unnamed Arkham prisoner. I assume he's playing the Joker, but that could be for something later down the line. That I don't need to see another Joker, but I trust Reeves enough. But I want other movies for sure, and I've heard from people who have seen it. They've said that the end does set up a larger universe, in at least in Arkham. Or at least in Gotham. I mean, why did I say Arkham? At least in Gotham City. Yeah, I think we'll get other movies for sure, and I think there'll be a lead in or a tie into a new villain. Hopefully, somebody we haven't seen, like Scarecrow, Hugo Freeze. I don't want to see Joker in the second movie. That seems kind of like a rehashing of The Dark Knight almost, or The Court of Owls. Pattinson said that's his favorite comic run is the Court of Owls. So I'd like to see them as like a villain type of team, I guess. So yeah, I definitely think we will get a sequel. I mean, this movie's probably make 1 billion, or it could make close to it. COVID's calmed down a lot. We haven't had a big movie really since No Way Home, or well, Uncharted did pretty well, but No Way Home was the last real big thing. So I really think 4 months of separation, about a quarter of a year, it will do well and financially to the point where yeah they're going to do a sequel, but also from a story standpoint it's smart to do a sequel.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not worried about a sequel coming, not coming. I would be okay with one movie, but I would like more. And yeah, who wouldn't want more offshoot stories? Like, why not? They could be
Oh, for sure.
fun. So,
But
yeah,
like in this universe still.
yeah. If you want to in this universe, separate universes, whatever
Yeah,
you want.
okay.
Drew, where do you want this movie to rank in terms of comic book movies? Now, I know that question sounds stupid, but I'm talking about in terms of the quality. Do you want it to be the grittiness and the very groundedness of Captain America: The Winter Soldier? Would you want it to be the dark of Infinity War? Would you want it to be the weirdness that is Batman versus Superman? Would you want it to be the lightness of the Suicide Squad? Like, where do you want the like where in terms of story, I guess darkness, do you want this to fall?
Yeah, I want this to be a crime thriller, almost a noir story, like basically a detective. That's how a lot of people describe this movie, is you get a good side of his detective,
Yeah,
Batman side. I want almost something like that, like a crime thriller almost that I'm watching.
yeah,
Have comic book elements, but more of a crime story for sure. Like I'm straight like Arkham to me feels very dark, feels like an impoverished place. It feels like um people are divided, obviously. I would assume They would be divided over this Batman figure and the Riddler, and the Waynes itself, because the Waynes are billionaires living in Gotham while the rest of the people struggle. So I'm really curious to see, it's social political commentary, I guess, on Arkham. Or I mean, why do I keep saying Arkham? Gotham.
Gotham.
And how does that affect this crime story? Because I want it to be like a crime thriller almost. I don't need to see Batman like we do in Batman v Superman, or any one of Affleck's visions just being the shit out of like aliens and invaded Earth. I don't need to see that. Um, yeah, I want it to be grounded and definitely darker and seedier. And it was weird that people in their reviews, like one lady said, due to the circumstances in the world, it just feels so out of place. Like it's brought up a good point. That's like saying, "Oh, Harambe died a month ago, and I saw Godzilla versus Kong. Due to the circumstances, this movie is a 2 out of 10." It's like what? Like what type
Yeah.
of argument is that? Like, yeah, it should be darker, seedier, and a crime story. I feel like
Yeah, I think for the movie that I'd want it to be, I guess, the most similar in
so. Winter
terms of,
Soldier, basically,
yeah,
what I'm saying,
Winter Soldier. Um,
but even
I
darker than that.
Yeah, I don't want it to be so depressing like Infinity War,
Right,
but I don't want it to be as shit as Batman versus Superman, and I also don't want it to be as light as like or its comedy to be as light as in like Suicide Squad. Um, so I guess that's what I'm going for. I would want it to be um I would want it to be like Winter Soldier esque, because
right,
with the Winter Soldier, it was a dark movie. Like it was like a Nazi overtaking the government, um,
right, right. Basically, yeah.
and so it was dark in that sense, but it wasn't dark to the point where I was like, oh my god, like this like ruined my mood with how dark this was. Like Infinity War dark, where it's like, oh shit. um So I think I would want it to be, yeah. I think I would want it to be around Winter Soldier level. I think that's dark enough, but it's still light enough where it's just like, oh, I can actually like laugh at this movie.
Yeah, for sure. I totally agree with that.
Um. Okay. Do you think more of the DCEU should be like the Batman and have a recast self-contained stories, or should they try to stay connected? So should we have a Superman offshoot and have him in a more grounded universe, focusing on some of his bigger things? Should we have a more, I know we're technically getting it later this year, but a more in-depth Flash movie, another Aquaman movie, where it's really just in depth about them and it doesn't try to overly connect to anything.
So obviously, this in order for this to happen, what you would have to do was scrub the entire thing, right? Because DC and specifically Warner Bros. Saw what Marvel was doing and they panicked. And they did a poor job of setting the groundwork for the Justice League. We didn't even get a Batman story itself. We got Man of Steel, and I think that was it
Yeah.
before Justice League. Maybe Wonder Woman?
No.
No. And then was Aquaman before or after? It was after, right?
After.
Yeah, so we didn't even get origin stories for most of the members. You didn't lay the foundational groundwork. So I didn't give a shit about the characters, right? And it was a shit movie as it was because I didn't care about them. What made the MCU was I gave a shit about these characters before I saw them all assemble, right?
Yeah.
So that's the DCEU's problem. Now what they're gonna do is try to retroactively bring in new characters, past characters, and build this whole new Justice League. I like Momoa, and I'm pretty sold on Ezra Miller. I think he's solid. The limited stuff I've seen. Yeah, I got you. Yeah. Uh, but I am not. I'm worried because like Keaton interacting with Ezra Miller, and then him being part of the Justice League, and then you got to bring in the Batgirl. It's like it's a lot of discombobulated things going on there. Past characters from different universes, new characters, maybe Shazam's joining the team. Like a lot of things there. It's just a mess. We'll see how they handle it. For now, I think you're so deep in the universe as it is, you kind of have to stay with what you have. At least in the case of Superman, I wouldn't mind a Supergirl movie right after The Flash or something like that. And I wouldn't mind a new Superman story in a different universe. Like you were saying, there was a rumor J.J. Abrams was going to work on a Superman, and Michael B. Jordan also. Michael B. Jordan was interested in playing Superman. Michael B. Jordan playing Superman sounds really interesting to me, and I would love that as an offshoot movie that's separate from the DCEU. You can try. Warner Bros. Might get to a point where like they try to keep the DCEU together and it doesn't work, but it gets to a point where maybe they try to um, build these other universes out just in case if the DCEU falls apart, which it probably will. So that's what I think. You're muted, by the way.
Fuck. I can't. I think with me personally, what I would personally want. Sorry, I'm distracted. I think with me, I would want this like. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, I think we need more self-contained stories. I think like you said, I think DC saw what Marvel did and tried to react quickly, and look how that went. It didn't go great. So I think I think if you're gonna do these big like you know these big stories together, I think you then are gonna have to like either a like build these characters up more and do something with that, or I think I would like much prefer they just go with the route they just either do like a bunch of self-contained stories and then um just like then somehow bring them together, because I think largely that's what the MCU's kind of started as,
Right.
was more a more contained story, and then they all came together. There was connections to the other movies. So I think for me personally, I think I would rather have I'd want to see them go the route of have them all stay separate and then bring them together.
Yeah.
So okay. I kind of asked this question a little earlier, but I'm going to kind of rephrase it. Would you like to see? Would you like characters in this universe to also contain people like Robin, Green Arrow, Batgirl, Black Canary, etc., Deathstroke?
For sure. I would for sure want to see heroes and see their stories. Like I'd love to see a Catwoman show or movie after this first Batman. I'd love to see a story maybe about his Nightwing or his Damian Wayne or his Jason Todd or whatever. Whatever Robin they choose, or if they choose all three or something like that. Somebody he can mentor or somebody who becomes close to him. Maybe it's like a Kanan and Ezra type of thing, or they're
Mm,
kind of similar in age almost or closer in age, but Bruce is still the adult in the room.
yeah,
I'd love to see movies or shows about his rogues gallery. Like what are his villains doing? So yeah, for sure. I'd want to see his heroes and villains and their stories and this Reeves verse. I think we're first on that. That's what we're calling it, the Reeves verse.
yeah. I think I would also want to see like a Green Arrow movie or a Deathstroke movie or shit like that. Why not? Let's have a Mandoverse esque thing for the DC. Don't call it the DCEU. Just call it like the Reeves
Or the
verse,
Bat verse or
the
something like
Batverse.
that.
Like, yeah, I think that's exactly how it should go.
Absolutely. I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then small follow up. What villain excites you the most about this movie? We don't have to go too in depth on this, so just
Obviously, the Riddler. Like he
oh yeah,
looks like an abs. He looks like a menace, and he sounds like a menace. And somebody brought up an interesting point that like the Riddler just looks like if I put on a costume or either one of us did, he looks like a high school kid.
yeah,
But at the same time, he feels very much like a serial killer. Uh, I don't know how many fucking riddles we're gonna get in a 3-hour movie, but
I know.
I'm really excited for this because he's not a physical threat. And I think that's harder to do in a the comic book or just a fictional story. It's very easy to write a physical brute who can take somebody on, right? This is going to be a psychological game, a mental game, and it's why I appreciate Filoni's writing of Thrawn because Thrawn, it's very a mental, it's a psychological game that he's playing. The lawn game. Thrawn's not a physical brute. Well, he can fight. That's not his thing. I want the same thing kind of with the Riddler. Like he gets the if he actually gets in a one-on-one confrontation, he gets the shit beat out of him. But his thing is playing the lawn game. His is psychologically destroying Bruce and almost out in Bruce. I really see that. I think what this movie's going to be about is Gotham's divided between the Riddler and the Batman, and I think the Riddler's whole goal is to try to get as many people as possible away from Bruce's side onto his side.
Yeah.
Um, so it's the psychological aspect of him, and the Penguin's going to be interesting to see. I think he's a brief villain, but yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited for the Riddler.
Same. Yeah, I'm really excited. I actually, this is gonna go a part of the final guest question. My bold prediction, because I agree with you, Riddler's gonna be top notch. Drew, I have one big bold prediction, and I don't know why. I've been thinking about it all day since I was done taking the SAT until now. I have a weird inkling feeling that I feel like the Riddler is going to expose Bruce as Batman. I don't know why. I've been having this
That would be
Mysterio
bold for a first Batman film,
for a
and it'd be
first
really
one.
interesting. It'd be really interesting.
I think I think it'd be so interesting if his thing, like you said, he's not a physical threat. Maybe he can fight a little bit and contend with Bruce a little bit. I think a big thing is, could you imagine? You know, we see him put like a dead man switch inside of him. So if Bruce does kill him, it then sends off an alert to news outlets around the world that Bruce Wayne is Batman. It's like, oh,
Right.
like that would be jaw dropping.
I think my bold prediction is we're gonna get a scene in the Arkham prison at the end of the movie, and it's just gonna be somebody maniacally laughing.
Yeah, I'm worried they're going to go down that route. I'm not going to lie.
Listen.
I
I
don't.
trust Reeves, but I don't want to see another Joker.
I don't. Again, that's my thing. I
I
love the
would love
Joker,
it,
but I don't. Yeah,
but
love
I don't want to
love
see it.
Joker. Don't want to
But
see him.
I want him to go like to say something stupid like I'm gonna start what you couldn't finish. And I wouldn't mind like a Joker Riddler team up or something like that in like the third movie. But my bold pick prediction is I don't think the Riddler gets dies at all. Obviously, this Bruce is not going to kill people. And I think everyone makes it out. Well, actually, I think they
I'm
might kill Andy Serkis as Alfred.
Yeah, I also think Catgirl, bro. She
Catwoman?
Catwoman. She's sus. She's sus. I don't know why. I think she gives me bad guy vibes, but I know she's not a bad guy. Weird.
Do you think they're lovers at some point? I do.
I do. I do.
That's a hot relationship right there.
And that it is. I don't know. I think I've had this weird inkling suspicion that that how they're gonna set up for a sequel is they're gonna have it with Bruce's identity being revealed.
That would be great. That would be fantastic
Because my thing
because it's a bold decision. It's a really bold
it
decision.
is. And I honestly, now looking at it, I wish they would have done that for Spider-Man Homecoming.
That would have been a bold decision. It would have changed a lot of things.
I do too. Because my thing is like we have very few heroes nowadays going by secret identities. Like we have the Flash, Spider-Man.
If I'm
Um,
a superhero, I'm letting everybody know.
I would too. I would tell them, Come F up my family. Come do it. I dare you. I dare you. Give me my supervillain origin story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I like again. We see Spider-Man, Batman, The Flash, and really that's it. In terms of major secret identities, I guess Superman. But come on, I'm sorry, but DC is always my least favorite thing when it comes to their secret identities. The Young Avengers also gets it from me. Is like, okay, bro. Okay, Kate Bishop, we get it. You put on some sunglasses and all of a sudden you're a different person. And I feel
Right.
that same way with Superman. Like, oh my god, he took his glasses off and
I love
he's
that scene where the
weird.
Avengers are all in their disguises, but like you have the most recognizable faces in the world at this point.
Literally, like Tony and Iron Man 3 going through going through that like that Home Depot store, like
Oh my
with
god.
sunglasses and a hoodie and a hat on, and I'm just like, bro, the beard, or like Cap and Natasha and Winter Soldier. Natasha's outfit is a hoodie,
Right.
and Steve's is glasses.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
literally
literally
just a hood.
it's awful.
Oh, Hydra won't find us now. Like
It's
what?
it's
What?
it's another thing. Um, where it's I saw this Jimmy Kimmel skit for Batman versus Superman where Ben Affleck was taking a picture and he went like this and he was like, "You're Batman." Like it's stuff like that. Like the secret identity things for me just don't work. Like it didn't work on Arrow either because I don't know if you remember. Like for the first 2 seasons, that man is wearing just eyeshadow basically all around his eyes. It's literally like, oh my god, they're so bad. Secret identities just don't work. I'm trying to think of like a secret identity that actually works because their face is fully covered. Like Spider-Man is obvious.
Yeah, I don't. It doesn't work for me. It's kind of boring, if I'm being honest.
It
Like
is.
it works better to me, like in like with the Mandalorians and stuff. I think
Yeah.
because it makes sense for them. I feel like almost.
And the other thing that I've noticed is that like, yeah, I understand the purpose of the secret identity. It's like, oh, if somebody knows them, they're gonna know who I love. They're gonna know who to target.
Right.
It's just like, okay. But like you
Well,
know who they are. So it's
right,
like,
but it's also worse. Like I feel like if you just get it out of the way right away, it's like it's not as
yeah.
bad. Like if they find out eventually and they're like, "Oh shit, I have a rogues gallery now of villains." Like, no, I feel like Tony was doing it right, man. Like he's just like,
Yeah, just
"Yes,
yeah, I'm Iron Man, bro.
come get me." Like basically, like he literally says that Iron Man 3 literally gives his address out. It's like, "Yeah, come and get me."
What's
I
also
mean, he
even
does.
worse,
Granted, he almost does
yeah.
die, but like, hey,
Another
better
thing that
than
I
living a secret your whole
yeah.
life.
Another thing that I noticed is around Iron Man, Smallville had come out, and you know what Smallville did? They made Oliver reveal his identity as the Green Arrow. And so you would think the proper thing is what they would do is what they did in the Arrow TV show, and they arrest him because that man has murdered a bunch of people. No,
Right.
no, he was okay, and he kept all of his money, and he was still a vigilante.
Interesting choice there.
Yeah, it's a thing that's like, look, if you're gonna do the whole identity reveal, I would really like it to be like a Far From Home thing.
It has to have consequences, right? Peters has consequences for revealing for his identity being well, he was doxxed as a minor. Fuck you, Mysterio. But like
No,
uh breaking a crime as you die. That's really funny.
no.
Well, might not be
I
dead, but
also
who knows?
like how just all of a sudden Quentin Beck didn't exist in that universe. Like the whole world bought the fact that he was from another from another universe.
I
Like
know.
I like how nobody in like the U.S. government was like, that's like Jonathan. He lives in like Idaho. I don't know what I don't know what his deal was.
What are they gonna do about like bro, like the government in the MCU seems very incompetent.
So
Uh
bad. They're the empire, bro.
They are literally
Like this.
worse than the government we have, governments around the world today. It's not even an accurate socio-political commentary because they are somehow more incompetent than the government we have today all around the world.
Yes.
It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. It's hysterical.
Yes.
What are they
I
gonna do when people are scrolls, bro? They're gonna like have. Now, granted, I feel bad for those people because they have. I love sharing the memes with Alex of like MCU citizens over the years, and it's like, yay, we have a superhero in flying armor, and then it slowly gets progressively worse. And now, since there's a multiverse, people are probably like, "The fuck are you talking about, bro?"
I know.
I would hate to live in MCU New York, bro. Like, imagine living
Literally.
in MCU New York.
The rent is $1, bro. It's 50 cents now. Like, because you don't know. Just at any moment, half the universe could go away. How do you explain, by the way, if you're an Avenger, how do you explain what happened? Oh, a purple alien got these magical rocks and snapped away 5 trillion people.
Crazy. Bro, imagine if that shit just happened now. Like, how would we explain? It was a cosmic phenomenon where half the universe died. Just like, what? Like, how would you explain that, bro? Like, I would, like, at that point, if human history had evolved the same way it did in the MCU, but instead we got superheroes, I would be all on board making, like, kicking out all the superheroes. Well, they
I
help.
would too.
Well, they help save the universe. Well, no, they don't, bitch, bro. Half the universe disappeared and they got lucky.
And not only that, they bring the threat to us. It's awful. It's awful. If you're a superhero, die. Now, don't die.
Just
Don't.
leave.
Just go to another universe. Go somewhere else.
And then
Go
now
to
there's a multiverse, bro. Like, if I saw 3 Spider-Man, like, I'd be.
literally. How? What's the news reports that day? 3 Spider-Men. Where are the other 2 Spider-Men? It's been 10 years since the 3 Spider-Men have teamed up. Where are they?
And then you see, like, a big purple thing in the sky with dudes coming out of it. Like, bro.
Bro, everyone in New York that day, bro. It's so bad. It's like, I'm just like, why live in New York at this point?
I still love Joe and Anthony Russo's interpretation of the blip. Like, the fact that, like, there's less people but there's still billions of people on Earth, and somehow like there's no baseball. Like everything's just dark and desolate. I'm like, wait, people aren't working still? It's been 5 years and there's still 3 billion people. Rebuild the population, you idiots. I
Yeah. What's
like
even worse, bro, about that is like, it's like, I like how people, when they go to that meeting with Steve, they're like, I miss the Mets. You missed the Mets. That's what you miss.
I would
Not
say
your,
that.
not your family, not your friends,
I
not
would
your
totally say something like that.
lovers.
But bro, they purposely pan over it. It's the Met Stadium, and it's like they're supposed to show like nobody's been there in like 5 years. I'm like, dude, you tell me just because half the population disappeared, you still can't find good baseball players? Like, what are you talking about here? What is this commentary? Like, there's still billions of people on the planet. It's like, do something.
Nah, but knowing our luck, you know who we would get surviving the blip? Putin and all of North Korea. It'd be bad, bro. That'd be like, could you imagine?
There's somehow more trash on. I know it's stupid, but I know what they're trying to present. But there's somehow more trash, but there's less people. Like what?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's weird. Imagine if that did happen though. Like the first
I
couple months
know.
after, how
What would
bad
you
it would be.
do?
What if you do if you're like a kid? Like if I'm 18 and I lost like
What do
both
you
my
do?
parents.
What do you do if you're like a newborn?
Right, you can't say.
Your mom is just giving you is breastfeeding you, and then you just fucking fall on the floor. What do you do?
Bro.
Like if you think about it, also, I know I brought this question up before. What do you do if you're in a helicopter and then you come back? What do you do?
You're
You're
dead.
dead. The Avengers did nothing right. They should have just let everyone stay dead.
The airplane, bro. Imagine being like 30,000 feet in the air. You get snapped, unsnapped, and presumably you don't travel with the airplane. You come back where you unsnapped, but you're no longer in that airplane. So you're falling 30,000 feet.
And look, let's say even on the contrary that you did go with where the airplane was. That airplane was moved and then destroyed.
Or it's in like a totally different spot in the world. Just
yeah.
totally.
So you're
Which
either
would be the best case scenario for you. Like, it's just like
you're waking up all the way up here in the sky, or you're waking up like in an incinerary. Like neither of the options are good.
Right. It's like, oh man, like the Avengers, man. Like, I get it. We gotta bring people back, but like, no.
Yeah, it's bad.
What happens if you were like looking out on a ledge? Like you were just looking at a scenery thing. You come back and then you don't know where you are, and you're just like, oh, I'm gonna step forward, and you step off a cliff. Like what? Like there's so many things that could go wrong, or some of it hasn't been taken care of, so there's like pieces missing, and you just fall to your death. That's murder, Avengers. At Steve Rogers, that's murder. You're responsible for death. So, um, you're muted. Okay. You ready for question of the week? Okay. You can't hear me. Okay. You got it. Oh my god.
I can hear you, but I'm muted. Give me a sec.
Okay. All right, we'll give him a sec. Yeah, it's kind of messed up by the Avengers. I can't lie here. Yeah, that's it for our Batman preview and talk about how unethical the Avengers are. Come on, guys. Gotta do better than that. But yeah, it was a good preview for the Batman. I'm really excited. Oh my god. Jesus Christ. Are you gonna do the rest of the show like that? Do your eyes twitch? Hello?
I can barely see right now. That's okay. I'm here,
How's it
guys.
going? How's it going, Yuri?
Oh, I'm Superman.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Can you pick the question of the week? Oh god, can you see?
I have it right here. Gosh,
Okay.
I can barely do this when I don't have this on. Bam. It's upside down. Favorite phase 4 Marvel movie or TV show, because we don't have that many movies. No Way Home. Easy.
Like really easy. Obviously oh jeez, obviously a combination of 20 years of Spider-Man storytelling, a beautiful Peter Parker story, and it's like finally made me really love the character of Tom, and it made me fall in love really with the character of Andrew. So I absolutely adore. I absolutely adore Spider-Man No Way Home. The villains are great. I think William Dafoe somehow does a better job as the Green Goblin. All the villains are great. So yeah, No Way Home is by far my favorite Phase 4 movie so far. And a close second place is Loki. Obviously, I love Tom Hiddleston. It's probably my favorite Disney Plus Marvel show so far. Great story, great characters, and a great setup for the future of the MCU. I can't believe I did that without getting distracted. But go ahead.
Yeah, mine is definitely Spider-Man No Way Home. I think a close second would be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Eight Rings.
It's 10.
Oh, 11. Sorry. So yeah, I would say barring Superman No Way Home, I would probably say Shang-Chi and the Eternals of the 14 Rings. Is a very, very close second.
I can't wait till I clip this on TikTok. People are gonna think
probably probably right behind White Spider.
What?
I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm joking. Probably behind Captain America and the Black Panther. No, I'm joking. No, probably behind Sylvie. Um, uh, that's why. That's why.
So
That's
what's
why.
your order? What's I'm so confused. What's
Batman: No Way Home. um, uh, Superman and the Legend of the 14 Rings. Um, and Sylvie.
I can't wait till this goes on TikTok. Okay, Yuri, thank you very much for question of the week as always. All right, it's taking it off.
Ah.
Yuri Lowenthal, everyone. By the way, that's a really stupid Spider-Man. So
What?
but what?
What?
Finally, what? Finally, let's talk about the most under anticipated project of the year
The Marvels.
from Sony Studios, creators of Venom 2,
Spider-Man: No Way Home.
Spider-Man No Way Home, Spider-Man Far From Home, Spider-Man Homecoming, Morbius,
The Marvels.
Morbius, everyone.
Oh.
We're talking about the Morbius final trailer.
It
I
passed, and this movie's still going to be probably delayed until like April 30/31. So
You didn't like it?
no. I mean, okay, I didn't hate it, but I'm not seeing this movie still.
Wow.
I'll give you
Why
this.
not?
If I don't rate the Batman at least like an 8 out of 10, then I'll go see Morbius.
Oh, so you're not gonna go see Morbius. So what am I gonna do then?
I don't know. Talk about shit that actually matters.
It's so funny though, because you like the Venom movies. Like I
No. Don't twist it. Don't
no.
twist it to be that. Oh, you love the Venom movies. I think they're funny. I don't think they're good.
This looks a lot better than the Venom movies.
It also has been delayed 8 times.
Right. So was
So
Black Widow. So like I know that was a shit movie. I mean it was alright.
exactly.
The Batman was good. What you mean? It hasn't come out yet,
Yeah.
unless you've seen it.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go see the Batman, and I'm gonna go love it. You should rewind the stream where we talked about the Batman for like an hour straight.
Is that a phone in your house?
Yeah, it's my dad's.
Ah. You've seen it?
I've seen it. Oh, so that is a good indication to pull my screen over and block out chat.
Do I block this user?
No, you don't block them. You block. I've turned the stream so I can only see this.
See me.
Yeah.
Well, how has this person seen it? Where do you live?
This person must like. Oh, I have showings of it today in Ohio.
Really? I saw a lot of people have that. I'd look for it. I couldn't find it unless I'm stupid and I didn't.
But it's only like I think it's only like the IMAX showings.
I don't. I literally. Yeah. The first showing for me is on a Thursday.
Nope, my first showings were today.
Awesome. I started IMAX fan event. Well, I hope you had a good time with it, my man.
Yeah,
I really do.
Don't spoil it. But
yeah.
It's really
really good. I am glad to hear that. I have heard a lot of people say that so far, so that's good to hear. But to get back to the Morbius final trailer, do you got any thoughts from it?
No.
Wow.
I'm sorry. Look.
Wow.
I have never been so not motivated to go see a movie until Morbius, bro.
I don't know why. It has
I don't know either. I don't know.
He says, I would say it's a Batman film we always wanted on screen. That's glad. I'm glad to hear that. I'm really excited. Yeah. As we mentioned earlier. But why has Keaton in it? Vulture? Morbius looks great. Like the design of the character.
I think my only reason to want to go see Morbius would just see if Andrew Garfield's in it. And that's not that exciting to me.
That's so weird to me, man. That's weird.
I think I'm just more or
What
less.
about what
uh,
about like the future of that Sony verse? Are you interested in anything besides Venom? Craven?
Oh yeah, I'm excited to see Craven, but like Morbius as a character, even in the comics, was not exciting.
That's fair. But I could also make a argument for like a lot of MCU characters for that.
But they made them interesting.
Right,
So,
but what if they make him interesting?
well, look, you tell me if he's interesting, and I'll watch it in a few months when it comes out on Blu-ray and digital.
That's weird to me, man. I can't believe that. That's weird.
I don't
I
know.
don't know what. Like,
It's
what
an
is it exactly?
it's another thing that I'm
Do you
gonna.
have like? Do you think you have a comic book fatigue? Are
I
you?
think
Do you
I think that's the problem is that I'm gonna be seeing the Batman and then Moon Knight and then Morbius. It's just too much, too much, and
now,
I think it was even too much around the Hawkeye and Spider Man and Book of Boba Fett releases. I thought it was way too much
right,
content.
right. Now, I would agree. Out of the next few months, it's my least anticipated project, right? But that doesn't mean I'm not gonna go see it. I just
Again, you go see it and you tell me how it is. You tell me.
overall, I didn't like this final trailer. The trailer before this was way better.
No,
Way better. I mean, this final trailer, like how much I was like they're really releasing a final trailer. You've already shown us a lot of stuff. How are you gonna show us more stuff? Uh
yeah,
they did show us more Keaton, which makes me think that he when they talked about on Jimmy Kimmel about him shooting more Adrian Toomes stuff, they did some reshoots, and I think there's a lot more of him in this film than we think. And I will say, we could talk about just the one thing I noticed in the trailer. Obviously, it seems like the theme or the big message or idea of this film is that Morbius is going to struggle between the line of a good doctor and his vampire side, right? And Matt Smith, who is playing the villain, Matt Smith, who was supposed to play a young Palpatine in Rise of Skywalker, fun fact, is going to try to pull almost not a physical threat to Morbius, but again, kind of like the Riddler in the sense that he's going to try to pull Morbius into his more vampire side with Adrian Toomes. Now, I think a lot of people have said this that the only interesting thing about this movie is the possibility of the setup of a Sinister Six, right? The setup of a Sinister Six for Tom's Spider Man. But I'm really curious where they take this Morbius character. I don't know much about him from the comics. I know he's a vampire. I know he's a doctor that uh, had this cure, and the cure turned him into a vampire. So I'm really curious to see where they take this character. And I think it's a good theme or a good central idea for him to struggle between him being that Karen doctor, which you have to be as a medical professional, or that cold blooded killer. That's a
that
vampire.
work for the Empire.
But what do
I
you
don't know.
what do you think about it?
I think it's interesting in concept, but I think the big thing for me is the delays. I'm sorry. I know it's a thing that's like, oh, you can't really use that. It was COVID and whatnot. No, I like there's been movie delays like Black Widow, but I think Black Widow was a different thing for me because that was the first Marvel movie I'd seen in theaters, so it had unrefined excitement for me.
Yep.
It, but even then, I didn't like the movie's not that good. So,
Yeah.
um, it's a thing that's just like I don't care about Morbius, and honestly, I would rather have more or put more my excitement more towards um, Moon Knight instead. A thing that I'm almost certain is going to be far better.
I would agree with that. I'm not disagreeing with that. Do you also think it's a thing that it's not MCU?
No, Venom wasn't. Venom Left to Be Carnage wasn't. Um, so no, definitely
But then
not.
again,
Not at
Venom
all.
is also a more well-known
Even
comic
then,
character. Yeah, I think that's totally fair. What do you think about what do you think it sets up?
I think
I feel
it.
like that's the big thing you will probably care about. That's the only thing you'll probably want to know.
Yeah, literally. I told you that like if there's anything big, let me know. If there's an Andrew Garfield cameo or shit like that, just let me know.
I doubt that.
And I honestly don't think that this is the Adrian Toomes from the MCU. I think this is the Venomverse Vulture.
Really?
Yeah, because how are you gonna make that make sense? Because if it's the Adrian Toomes from the MCU, then wow, cool. Morbius is in the MCU. Whoop de doo.
Because yeah, it can't be.
Because my thing is,
It can't be Vulture from the MCU because everybody who knew who he was brought into Tom's universe. Or they could say that, but like, how are people? So Vulture would have to leave Tom's universe.
no, he's a variant.
Think
That's
that's
it.
what they're going with?
Why not? Because my
I
thing
actually
is,
think that's more likely now that you say it. I think that
because
has to be it.
my thing is, how are you going to justify who that he's there? Oh, during the whole portal thing in No Way Home, he slipped through, but then never went back mysteriously.
And was still arrested in this other
Yeah.
universe.
So it's either this is the MCU or this is a variant.
And it
Which,
kind of can't be the MCU
yeah, because then you,
because there's Oscorp already. There's
yeah, and
well, it could.
going off of what No Way Home, Harry doesn't exist, or he doesn't know where Harry is, and Oscorp doesn't exist.
There's
The only,
also a mistakenly put Spider-Man. Is it Tobey Maguire's right?
yeah, but I would also say to that just because we see his thing, that doesn't mean that it can't be inspired off of Tom's. Where it's like, oh, it's just
Yeah,
graffiti. It's just graffiti, so it's not always going to be 100% accurate.
right. But they're also posters and stuff that um show that there is a Spider-Man on like promotional stuff or like places where they shot. There are buses like where's
Yeah,
Spider-Man? There's also a Rhino in this universe. So is this Andrew's universe? Like I think that's my most one of the things I am most curious about. Is like where is this movie taking place exactly? What's going on here?
and I think
There's a
that the
Venom reference. Like it's
yeah,
very odd.
and I think that'd be the only reason I'd be excited for it or excited to go see it is just figure out what universe this takes
Now
place
they
in.
could say it's a multiversal movie. That would be weird.
Mm.
Especially for an introduction movie for a character, because I feel like you got to focus a lot on that character in a solo film. So
Because my thing is like, I think it makes the most sense to be in Andrew's universe, but then you bring Venom into that universe because I'm pretty sure these are connected universes, if I'm not too mistaken. So
right, yeah, it's really weird. I don't know where they're going with it. I'm excited though. I think it looks great. I think the design, like Morbius's design, is very well done. It's something that Sony's done a really good job with. I love Venom's design. I know some people don't like it. I enjoy it. It's gonna look weird to me when the symbiote bonds with Spider-Man and I see the logo on it. I kind of want Venom not to have the Spider-Man logo on him.
yeah,
Uh, but yeah, it looks Morbius's design looks great. I'm curious where this movie takes place and what it sets up for whatever Spider-Man it may be's future. And what's up with his Sinister Six, his own Sinister Six, and Leto, Keaton, Matt Smith. It's got a really good, strong cast. I wish you would see it. I really do. Uh, but I get it. I think there's a superhero fatigue. I think there definitely is a comic book fatigue, and that's around a busy time, right? Moon Knight comes out that week. Um, we're going to be getting ready for Kenobi at that point. So, by the way, there's a rumor now. It's a rumor. March 9th, 10th, maybe trailer, but those things are always subject to change. So, take that with a grain of salt on Kenobi trailer, possibly.
dude, I
That,
have just like been coughing for the last like 10 minutes. I do not know why. Oh yeah,
yeah,
I forgot to mention to you, I was sick on Monday. Um, my immune system is great.
yeah.
It's perfect.
You got any final thoughts on the Morbius trailer?
Mobius is gonna be shit.
Nice. But I
I'm joking. I have high hopes. I hope everybody else enjoys it because I'm not. I'm not gonna
yeah,
enjoy it.
yeah. Well, got anything else to talk about, or
No. Kenobi can't come quick enough. Moon Knight can't come quick enough. The Batman can't come quick enough.
Did you get tickets yet?
To Friday, I am.
You are going Friday. I thought you said you
No,
weren't.
I'm getting tickets for Saturday.
Friday. Okay. Are you going
Uh,
Saturday day or?
like, I'm looking at a 250 showing right now, which has no tickets bought in it.
Yeah, my theater was doing pretty well.
I want to go to a showing with people in it, but like, can't pass up on seats right now.
Everybody talks about how their theaters go like wild and stuff.
Literally, dude,
I've
during
never
No
had
Way
my theaters
Home,
do that, bro.
dude, when Matt Murdock came on screen, bro, I literally was like, and it was dead silent around me.
Me and
I was
my
like,
brother would like, oh, that's Daredevil. That's cool. I was like, yeah. I was like shaking my head like this. My brother like, that's Daredevil, right? I'm like, yeah, that's
literally,
that's.
dude, like,
And then
I
when we saw Venom,
gasped.
because he loves Venom, he loved the Venom comics as a kid and stuff. And when he was in the end credit scene, just looked at me, he's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, yeah." And then
No,
when Toby and Andrew came on screen, at least the person next to us was like excited for him, but the rest of the people were like,
literally, dude,
"What?"
I I literally like when Andrew walked through the portal, like when you could tell it was Andrew, my brother started nudging me, and I was going, "No fucking way, no way!" And literally, I look up, and everyone's just. I was like, "Am I in the room with robots right now?" Like I,
Oh man,
and then like the scene where they're all swinging together, 3 people started clapping. I said, "This is the most depressing ass theater of
I would
all
not
time."
clap. I would not clap or anything like that.
No.
But actually, my Shun-Chi theater was actually pretty good. I can't lie. And my Venom Let There Be Carnage theater was pretty good.
Yes,
People were
I
laughing at
was gonna
jokes.
say
People were laughing at
Shang-Chi.
jokes.
Shang-Chi was the most lively theater experience I've had.
People were laughing. People were having a good time. That one was good.
But then you know what made it even worse though, dude, was during the No Way Home. I remember I told you this because I was there. I was waiting for the Multiverse of Madness trailer
Right.
to start. I told you this when we did our review. I had this family next to me. I'm by myself. Everyone that I went, my cousin, my brother, my uncle, they all left. They went to they were like, I'm not fucking staying for this. But I was like, I am though. I was like, fuck you. Like, I am. I had this family. They were being so fucking obnoxious next to me while we were waiting for the credits to go through. But then, as soon as the trailer started playing, this mom told their kid, "Shut your mouth, sit down." And I was like, "Where was this like for 5 minutes?" Because they're going crazy. They're like throwing popcorn at each other. I was just like, dude, have your kids have like some sort of like
Respect.
manners, dude. Like, I get like being like itty and gritty in the theater, being like, ooh, we're waiting. It was awful.
That's funny. That's
It was
funny.
awful. And honestly, that family should be sentenced to jail.
Oh God. Jesus Christ. But yeah, I got nothing else left to talk
Yeah.
about. We'll be
So
back. You're good for
yeah.
next Wednesday,
What's next Wednesday?
the 9th.
Ninth? Yeah.
Back next Wednesday for a Rebel season 3 and 4 review, and then maybe in a couple weeks, I think we'll maybe watch an episode or two of Daredevil or something. I know Alex, he's told me he fell asleep the first episode of Daredevil. So
I'm yawning as you're talking about it.
I am really curious to see how that all plays out. But
No, I think I only was yawning because it was just during the time of day that I was watching it. It was like
okay,
7 o'clock. So
okay. Maybe obviously Thor: Love and Thunder, Kenobi, and God damn it, maybe the Bad Batch trailer here soon. Uh,
no, no bad batch, no bad
what?
bitches, no bad bitches.
Bad Batch gets no bitches. I mean,
No, I gotta be honest with you, dude. Like, Star Wars, dude, it's at a real high point right now for me. I don't know why. I don't know if you're
no,
like,
no,
no, it's huge for me right
no,
now. Like,
no. I will say Rebels has kind of like that's good Star Wars. That's something I was missing from the Book of Boba Fett. I liked that.
Dude, I'm so excited with
I
how this came out. I'm sorry to
I
cut you
like the
off.
Book of Boba Fett, but Rebels is something different, man. Like I really love that
What was your
storytelling.
favorite episode of season 3? Was it the Trials of the Dark Saber?
I really enjoyed that. I gotta say, Twin Sons, I enjoyed everything with Maul. I enjoyed
So
Ben.
good.
I loved. I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite episode. Mystery of Chopper Base Part 1 and 2. Actually, yeah, those two combined. The season 3 finale, I think
So good.
combined.
0 hour, so good.
Yeah,
I
it's
gotta,
zero. Yeah, it's 0 hour. Yeah, yeah.
I gotta say,
Thrawn.
and I know this is gonna be like very like unpopular. Out of every single series of Star Wars, Rebels season finales are always better. Like maybe barring Clone Wars season 7, but I'm sorry, like none of the
Uh,
other than season 7, Clone Wars all had shit finales.
well, I gotta be honest. Clone Wars is different again because
I know,
it's
because
not wrapping up
it's
and
yeah,
yeah,
it's anthology, or it's not anthology, so it's a not linear but expansive story. So there's no
right,
need to be like a huge season wrap up. But come on,
right.
bro, you got to tell me in the top 10 of your Rebels episodes, there's gonna be the season 1, 2, 3, and 4 finales. And I'd even
Yeah.
damn near say maybe barring the season 1,
Oh, and the stuff
the
with
premieres.
Mandalore is fantastic.
Oh,
Again, Filoni doesn't mess with Mandalore. Like it's something he
never,
just doesn't mess with. Like
never.
never misses with that.
Oh, I love it. I
And
love
I
it.
am really curious about how Sabine feels about Mandalore and Din. That's what I'm really curious about. I'm really curious because Bo-Katan there doesn't seem power hungry. She does now. But I also think there's a part of her that maybe she doesn't necessarily want the dark saber. She wants Sabine to rule because she feels like Sabine is the rightful ruler of Mandalore. But it's also weird because technically, Sabine didn't win it from the rightful ruler.
No,
She,
but by technical rule, Maul abandoned the blade and then died.
yeah, true, true. Um,
And then Gar Saxon took it from her, and then she technically wins it in combat by fighting
right,
him.
but Saxon, well, she technically did beat Saxon, so I guess we could say, yeah. So like, and everyone's like, "Wow, there's inconsistencies here." I'm like, I didn't feel one inconsistency. It's
No,
kind
I
of
wouldn't
like,
say there's inconsistencies. I would say we just don't know the full rule of it yet.
yeah, right, or different interpretations of a rule from different clans,
Literally, like this thing has been going on for 1,000 years.
right? You know,
Which again,
Bo-Katan's,
yeah,
Clan Kreese interprets it differently than, uh,
yeah.
Clan Ren.
Yeah.
You know,
Again, I've said it and I've said it 1,000 times. The one story in Star Wars that I want but absolutely do not want at the same time is the origin of the dark saber. Like the
right.
true origin, like
And
how
by the way,
Art made it.
I would love to see Fen Rao,
Live
uh,
action, man. Slept on character.
uh,
Such a good, like, interesting man.
Ursa Ren, and what is the brother's name?
Tristan.
I'd
The
like to
mo-
see him.
the most generic Earth name too, by the way. I'm sorry for my brother
Right.
screaming in the background.
Yeah.
Literally, dude, it's funny though that so many of
All the
Star Wars.
Mandalorians have unique names, and your dude's name's Tristan.
It's like I love, but you gotta admit, everybody in Star Wars who has regular human names are always the good characters. Well,
Luke.
Tristan is a good. He's a good character. He's not interesting. Like he's not.
Right.
He's he's not a main character. But Tristan,
Caleb.
Luke,
Caleb
Caleb.
Doom.
Is there anyone else? Mara, Mara Jade.
Yeah. Luke.
Oh, you're talking about the Luke with 2 U's.
Yeah.
Luke.
Like if you have a generic name, you're
You're
pretty
like you're destined to be a good character.
right. Leia.
Leia's not generic.
Really?
Name me one other person you've met in your life named Leia. I can name you like 4 other people named Luke. And they're all dickbags.
Mace is not common.
No.
Kiadi. No, I'm joking.
Obviously, Shock T,
Yeah, right. Master
Luminara.
Sifo Diaz.
Yeah, Boba Fett, Fennec, Shand,
Dan.
and um,
All right,
man,
but anyways, we've gone on too long here.
I know. We wrapped up like 20 minutes ago.
Yeah, so actually
Okay,
we'll wrap up now. Thank you
later,
guys
bye.
again. Thank you guys again for watching. May the force be with you and may you stay burdened with glorious